My 23-year-old daughter just got married this weekend.
Oh, congratulations.
She has no debt outside her home, has an emergency fund, but she needs a newer car. Should she reduce her 401k investments down to company match to save for a car faster, or maintain a higher 401k contribution? What do y'all think?
Man, this is a really hard question. Let me lay out both sides of the equation, then you give the advice.
Okay.
How about that? One thing, JD, if your daughter has not done this, I would encourage her to go to moneyguide.com/resources and play with a wealth multiplier. Because at 23 years old, every dollar that she can save, every dollar that she can build for the future has the potential to turn into tons of money down the road. It's why we have these koozies that say this $1 beer cost me $88. Because we know that $1 today, 40 years in the future, 45 years in the future can be worth $88. So with your daughter, every dollar she can save, every dollar she put away has the ability to be incredibly valuable over the long term. Now, on the other side of the equation, she's driving a car that's maybe old, not reliable, and her single greatest wealth creator right now is her job, the thing that she shows up to every day that allows her to create a paycheck and create an income and pay for the bills. And so having reliable transportation isn't likely so much a want as much as it is a need. And so these two tensions exist, especially for young people. So when it comes to his daughter, Brian, what advice would you give? How should she think about it?
Well, I love you set up the first half of it is go out to moneyguy.com/resources, play with the wealth multiplier tool so you can see how valuable for a 23-year-old. But then that you need to know the other side of the boundary, because that's going to be the upside so that you want to save every dollar. But then you're like, but where is, if I did take temporarily my savings down, where's the place I ought to say, man, that's too much. I've cut into the bone. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage you also to go to moneyguy.com/resources and look at and I always mistitle it, but what 25% can do for you. We really should rename it. But it's basically a chart that has age and find out how much you need to save. They just put it up on there, how much you should save. And you'll notice because your daughter is so young and starting this journey out, for a 23-year-old, she can still have tremendous success even below 25%. Yep. It's probably somewhere between 15 to 20%. So you could use that as the temporary boundary to say, hey, that job is so important to me. And that lets you transition to step 2 is don't forget 23-8.
There you go.
Because I do want to make sure there's so many people out there pushing you to stretch on your car purchases, and they've gotten really smart. They even ask you what monthly payment can you afford, and that is a trap, because if you can make anything affordable for a few $100s a month. All you have to do is expand out the amortization schedule. Instead of doing 3 years that we have done, why did we choose 3 years? It's to keep you honest with where your wages and what you can afford are, versus if you go out to 6 years, 7 years, like car dealerships are now allowing you to do, you'll be like, man, I can easily afford that. That seems like that payment is doable for me. But yet you never own the car. And that's why the majority of Americans now are driving around with negative equity, meaning they owe more than the car is actually worth. And that is an extremely dangerous place to be. So here's the way you keep yourself safe. You put down at least 20%. You don't finance for longer than 3 years, and you make sure that payment doesn't exceed 8% of your income. And remember, we have 2 caveats. This doesn't apply to luxury cars, and this also, you cannot have your monthly car payment exceeding your monthly investments. Because if you got more money going to a car payment than you have going to your Roth IRA, I think you really are shortchanging yourself for the future.
So it's likely what she could do is if she does have to reduce her savings, and she does have to pull back to just getting the match to save up, she might not need to save up for the whole value of the car. She needs to save up for that 20% and potentially buy the car 23-8 so that she can get back to saving. And that would likely be prudent.
Put boundaries on yourself, because when you get to the dealership, they're going to tell you how much you can afford, and that's just not you. It's more important that you minimize the car purchase, still get reliable transportation. Think Corolla, not Land Cruiser, but then get yourself back to saving and investing as much as possible, as early as possible, so you just own your time that much sooner.
JD, tell her that we said congratulations on the recent marriage. Hey, you know what a great gift for a brand new newlywed is? A copy of Millionaire Mission for them to read together and work through together. Maybe they want to work through the course at learn.moneyguy.com. Both wonderful post-wedding presents.